Hi, friend, and welcome to season 2 of Living Simple and Well. I'm so glad you're here. Truly, this season feels like a fresh breath, a new chapter, an invitation to step into your life with more intention and a lot more grace. Season 2 is about honoring where you are right now while still believing in where you're going. It's about slowing down without shrinking your dreams, about caring deeply for your body, your home, and your heart without guilt and without pressure. Here on Living Simple and Well, we talk about what it really looks like to live well in real life. Not perfectly, not polished, but honestly. This season, we'll explore gentle productivity that supports your nervous system instead of draining it. We'll talk about wellness rooted in self respect, not shame, about creating a life that feels calm and meaningful while still allowing space for passion, purpose, and income. You'll hear thoughtful solo conversations and inspiring guests, experts who believe in sustainable, realistic care for women in every season, and so many more. Most of all, this is a space for you, for the woman who has spent so much time taking care of everyone else, for the woman who's ready to choose herself again, confidently, unapologetically, and with love. If you've been craving more peace, more alignment, and more joy in your everyday life, you're in the right place, friend. So settle in, take a deep breath, and let this season remind you that living simple and well can exist beautifully together. Welcome back to Living Simple and Well. Today, I want to lean into something I feel like so many of us are feeling this time of year: the winter blues. You know, those mornings when it feels darker earlier, your energy's dipping, and even just getting out of bed feels like a little extra effort than normal. If that is you, I want you to know you are not alone. I have been there myself more times than I care to admit. And today I want to share some rituals, some mindset shifts, and some cozy practices that have really helped me move through these darker months with a little more warmth, energy, and ease. Because winter doesn't have to feel heavy, it can actually feel really intentional and nourishing. I truly thrive in the warmer months, the sun shining, the birds chirping without getting like totally cliche. It's really life giving when I can get outside. I work outside whenever I can. I break up my day with walks around the neighborhood, and I sit and eat most of my meals outside too, even. If I could, I would snowbird somewhere from like, I don't know, maybe January through March. I don't say December because I do actually love the cozy winter months when it's like the holidays, like Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's not like really, really cold then. But man, January and February have been a doozy here in PA. We just quite literally got hit with 21.5 inches of snow this past weekend. I will say though, we are still seeing the sun until about 6 p.m. these days, compared to like 4 p.m. just a few short weeks ago. So there does feel like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, like literally and figuratively. I feel like lately I have really leaned into my journal in the evenings, like by my red light, and that kind of tells me that I am truly needing the extra deeper reflection time lately. Because as always, when I come to you in these episodes, it's as a total work in progress girly walking alongside you. I don't have it all figured out. I share what I'm trying, what I'm loving, and what I have learned, and I always will. So, first thing I want to talk about is why winter can feel a little off. If you've noticed your energy dips or your motivation slowing, it's not imaginary, it's real. During the winter months, the days are shorter, which means we get less sunlight. And sunlight plays a huge role in regulating our circadian rhythm, our body's internal clock that quite literally tells us when to wake up, when to feel alert, and when to wind down. When that rhythm gets a little off, mornings can tend to feel heavier, afternoons can feel like they're dragging, and evenings, well, maybe you just want to crawl into bed early. And on top of that, sunlight helps our bodies produce serotonin, which is the chemical in our brain that stabilizes our mood. Less sunlight means lower serotonin. And suddenly, that winter slump starts to feel heavier than it actually is. But here's the thing I want you to hear: feeling this way does not mean you're lazy or that you're failing. It just means your body is responding naturally to the changes in the season. Some people experience seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, which is a more intense version of winter blues. Mood dips can be more significant, energy drops, sleep patterns get dysregulated. But even if you don't have SAD, most of us still notice a subtle shift in energy and mood as the days grow shorter. That is completely normal, friend. I remember last year, late January, waking up and feeling heavy. My usual routines felt harder, and I caught myself scrolling on my phone more than I wanted, thinking, why can't I just focus today? And that's when it hit me. It wasn't a lack of discipline. Winter was asking me to slow down, to be gentle, and to lean into practices that supported my energy instead of resisting the season. Take a moment right now and notice your body again. That heaviness or sluggishness that you might be feeling, that's your body signaling, I need support. And the good news is you can meet it with small intentional habits that help you feel lighter, warmer, and more energized, even during the darkest months. I approached this winter season with the knowledge of what I had learned last winter, knowing that I wanted to build a cozier routine come the winter and give myself more grace ultimately. Okay, now let's talk about rituals, the cozy, intentional habits that can really lift your mood and your energy. One of my absolute favorite things about winter, I do have a favorite, is that it encourages us to slow down in ways we often don't allow ourselves in the summer months. One of my go to rituals is starting the morning with light and movement. It's obviously easier when we can roll out of bed and get some grounding grass under our feet barefoot because it's so nice out, right? Even 5 or 10 minutes outside, even if it's cold, can do wonders. Just stepping onto your porch with a warm cup of tea, stretching your arms overhead, or rolling your shoulders can set the tone for your entire day. I like to take a big deep breath, reach my arms up, and imagine sunlight on my skin. Sometimes, if I'm lucky enough, I'll get a sliver of it in the one side of my backyard, and it's glorious. But even if the clouds are covering, friend, it's there. Even if it's just a sliver of light sneaking through the clouds, one tiny pause like that can shift my energy more than I ever expected. Then there's the ritual of the warm, mindful drink. Tea, matcha, golden milk, cacao, whatever feels like a hug in a mug, I like to call it. I love holding it with both of my hands, taking slow sips, noticing the warmth, the aroma, the taste. This all might sound a little bit much, but if you really do romanticize these very simple things, you start to look at what you're doing differently and you start to find joy in these little pockets, right? Sometimes I'll pair it with journaling or just sitting in silence for a few minutes. It's this little pause that tells your brain, we're slowing down now. This moment matters. And I promise, even a few minutes like this can actually recalibrate your energy in ways that you don't even realize. I also truly live for creating layered comfort in my home. Blankets, soft socks, candles, warm lighting. It's not just for aesthetics. I got quite literally the coziest socks at the random checkout counter at Burlington Coat Factory of all places. I went to look for snow boots and a possible snowsuit for my daughter. Ended up finding a really nice winter coat for myself and snow boots for myself. I also did find snow boots for her. But I got these socks were like $7.99 for 4 pairs. And they were like, a calf length height rather. And but the material just felt so luxurious. And they were ribbed and they were the perfect off-white. I love them and I live in them. 4 pairs that are always getting washed because I just find them to be so cozy. There's just something about surrounding yourself with softness that physically relaxes your body and calms your nervous system. I always have a little candle by my desk in the afternoon or a soft throw while I read in the evening. It just instantly shifts the energy in the room. And don't underestimate the power of slow, intentional moments. Journaling, reading, or simply sitting with your thoughts for 10 minutes might feel indulgent, but it's truly restorative. Some days, just noticing one small joy, that warm drink, a favorite song that comes on, a quiet laugh with my daughter, can be enough to anchor me. Even sound and light can make a difference. Lamps, little twinkly fairy lights. It took us the longest time to take the warm, starry lights over our back patio doors because we just absolutely loved the glow. Even a diffuser can mimic sunlight and subtly lift your mood. I like to light candles in the evenings. Whenever the sun goes down, you'll find lamplight and candles glowing. It's such a small thing, but it makes the room feel brighter and warmer. Of course, rituals are only one part of this puzzle. Mindset matters just as much. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that winter isn't a season to get through, it's a season to curate intentionally. You need to be more intentional about how you're committing to things and how you want to go about your days in the winter months. The shorter days are really an invitation to slow down, rest, and focus on nourishing yourself. I want to encourage you that instead of resisting winter, embrace it. Celebrate the coziness. Notice those small everyday joys, the sunlight catching your window, the steam rising from your morning mug, the quiet moments with your family. One practice that I personally love is a weekly reflection. Every Sunday, I simply jot down 3 things that I want to prioritize that week. Something cozy, something creative, and something that moves my body. It's small, but it keeps me anchored. You might try doing the same. Take a moment now. Visualize your cozy, creative, and moving priorities for the week. Even imagining it plants the seed of intentionality in your mind. Another mindset shift I found powerful is practicing gratitude. Notice the small joys. Steam from your coffee, sunlight on your face, the comfort of your blanket, a text from a friend, your pet curled up beside you. I like to call this my small joy inventory. The more you notice these little things, the more your brain associates winter with warmth, comfort, and contentment rather than cold and darkness. And one last thing before we move into putting all of this together. Please let go of comparison. Don't measure yourself against summer energy or anyone else's rhythms. Some days doing less is actually doing more for your well being. Honor your pace, your rhythm, and what your body needs. Okay, now let's bring this all together because mindset and rituals work best when they're integrated into daily life. Think of this as your winter energy plan. You don't need a huge, overwhelming schedule. Even small, intentional steps can make a massive difference. In the morning, try starting with sunlight, a little movement, and a warm beverage while noticing one thing you're grateful for. Just picture it. That tiny pause, maybe just 5 minutes, can shift your energy for the entire day. Midday, I want you to check in with yourself. Stand, stretch, maybe take a short walk, refill your water, and notice how you're feeling. I like to set a gentle alarm around 2 p.m., not as a productivity reminder, but as a pause to reset. Evenings are for winding down intentionally. Cozy lighting, warm drinks, journaling, or reflecting on a moment of joy can reset your energy for the very next day. I like to write down one thing that brought me warmth or happiness. It helps me sleep better and wake up feeling lighter. You can also plan these small steps weekly. Pick one morning, one midday, and one evening habit to focus on each week. Don't overcomplicate it. Rotate them so it stays fresh. Even one intentional act a day can shift your energy and your mindset over time. Winter is more than just a season, it's a philosophy of self care. It's a time to slow down, reflect, and build resilience. By aligning with natural rhythms, we support our mental, emotional, and physical health. I want you to embrace this season as a teacher, showing you the power of reflection, of rest, and intentional living. Over the years, winter has taught me lessons I carry into every other season. Patience, presence, and the power of small, deliberate acts of care. So, my loves, here's the takeaway today. Winter doesn't have to dim your light. When you combine rituals, mindset, and small daily actions, you can move through the season feeling supported, energized, and cozy. Try one or two of these practices this week and notice the difference. When reflecting, ask yourself, what small act today could make me feel lighter, warmer, and more present? And if you try it, as always, I'd love to hear about it. Share your favorite winter rituals with me on Instagram. I love seeing the ways that you create warmth and joy in your very own lives. Remember, friends, winter is a season, not a struggle. Lean into it, nurture yourself, and notice the beauty in even the smallest moments. Until next week, friends, keep living simple and well.